What are you waiting for?
I don't know, love. I've been waiting.
Waiting for what?
No, I was waiting until I had a chance to explain this situation when I'm watching about commerce and the dealing with commerce, about the contract, about the application and the rights of the name. So I really wanted to explain it, so I'm going to get on here and explain it while I got time right now. So when it comes to commerce, I'm looking and I'm seeing the differences between those who are trying to raise our people from a mental struggle, a mental situation, and the concepts, what we see every day in life, dealing with the trials that we come from, the neighborhoods that we come from, the institutions we've been to, where we work at, how we live, how we think. And it was designed. And what everybody is talking about, even the Moors, the Hebrew Israelites, and every other nationality, they're talking about freedom from a system that monetizes every action that you do. So my message to the Moors and all of the indigenous people that's out there, the Hebrew Israelites and any other nation or government that's of a different particular creed, when you're dealing with these systems, whatever kind of trouble you're in, whatever you're looking at, I'm not trying to get you to circumvent that, nor am I giving you legal advice. I'm just going to counsel you to look up one definition. You got a phone in your hand. If you can see me right now, you can look it up. And they talk about the rights of the name. This is the importance of the contract. That's why my channel, contract, the cut down, contract under life in America, it's a walk. It's a walk of a compilation of who I am, where I'm from, the hood. That's why I even put some of those videos out on the cut down. That's why I want to interview some of our people, because this is where I come from. This is my makeup. These same people made me up. No matter their condition, I still learn to see something from them and learn something from them. So I see the people talking about monetization, and then you have some of the indigenous people that refuse to monetize, but they fail to realize that the Uniform Commercial Code is a common bond. It's a common binding, and it's a common bond made upon the contract, and the contract that is placed upon the constituents of that government. So when you're talking about government, the ability for you to be able to function in commerce in any form, in any way, shape, form, or fashion is going to deal with a necessary or an unnecessary contract, meaning that you will be implicated whether you choose to agree to it or not if you are in a certain standing. So the difference is what the people is talking about is standing for us as humans, as people. But this is a right that must be clarified, and it must be clarified to the world. But you got to also understand that you must eat. If you choose to do business outside of commerce, outside of the commercial standing, which is following the Uniform Commercial Code that has been adopted by all of the states and ratified by the Constitution and the amendments made to the Constitution, that a state is sovereign upon itself. So we already understand that in establishing our own government, we must establish our own state. But the state has the ability, or the state must have the ability, to remain in a sovereign capacity if it has the ability to remain control over its constituents, meaning that the sovereignty part of it is created within the government. And because it made the government, it can never be challenged by its constituents. So every representative falls under that. But the government has made a promise to function with you in commerce. And through this establishment, and by those things that you deposit, dealing with the collective bargaining agreement, you create funds. And the promise on those funds is the ability for you to be able to cash in on the collective bargaining agreement, which is the ability for you to work, the entity to work. So the government must be established. Your nationality must be established. Your domicile must be established, because it is all theoretical property. It is all a concept of your understanding of where you reside. So now when you look at it in total, what you have to be able to understand, all of the indigenous people that's out there, the Moors, and they looking to maneuver in commerce, but they failing to leave out one important fact. When you claim those documents are funded upon the ability for you to work. And I'm giving you this, we can call it free game or whatever, but you got to follow the dollar. You got to be able to follow the dollar to understand it, because how can you maintain your lodges? You're going to be taxed. I heard the brother Christopher Glass on there from the USAR. He was talking about, some of the malls, the institutions having lodges. These lodges carry fees with them. Whether you are judicial in your application of them is always or only up to you, because you must file that paperwork. It is the paperwork when you obtain the lodge, when you obtain any one of these institutions, be it a
God bless y'all. Y'all have blessed Steve.
You too.
Thank you.
Whenever you're welcome.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Whenever you apply any of these institutions, no matter if it's a nonprofit organization or a religious organization, you are going to do the paperwork. The paperwork is the discharge, because the paperwork creates the dispute. The biggest part of the dispute is not whether you win or lose in the dispute. It is the monetization of the forms. So when you sign those forms under a race, a certain creed, you become a nationalist of that contract. So the contract becomes law. So now you are in their jurisdiction. So this is what you have to understand. So to remove yourself from the jurisdiction, when it says we the people are the government, it means we are the government in our singular capacity, because we have the ability to choose what we want our representatives to say. And it depends on the type of form of democracy that we choose, where it puts us in a position to where we can't actually make the choices and decisions ourselves, because they are executive in the manner. So you got to think about what that means for you. We the people are the government. So I wanted to hold off and tell y'all this, but I'm not. I'm just going to give it to you, because what I'm looking to do is something different. So it deals with procurement. Procurement is having the ability to actually receive a product or order a product, and then being able to record that. This is what they fund, because the paperwork, the receipt, is the largest part of anything that you ever gonna do. The receipt, it makes this whole commercial activity that we see right now in the world work. It's not the food that they bring you. It's not the merchandise that you receive in Walmart or wherever you shopping. It is the receipt. The receipt, the registering of that receipt shows that this company or this institution can operate in commerce. So they continue to get funded, because the ability of the people that goes into that institution to work is the agreement. This is where the discharge comes from. So whether if that person complies with the employee rules of conduct, or they violate the employee rules of conduct, once you create the dispute, the matter can be discharged. But it leads commerce to other institutions like the courts, because this is where the documents are monetized. This is why they are filing the paperwork. This is why they're getting you to attach your personal self in that capacity to the liability of a corporation, because it cannot do business with you. But you have to understand that. So if you go in their jurisdiction under their contracts, this is what they do. This is what they make you into. They monetize you through the forms. It's called trademark. And with the trademark, it comes copyright laws. Copyright laws are under the statute. They are established under the statute. So I just wanted to say that to you. So now what I'm going to do is continue to walk this path so that you can see it from the ground up. Because I've been in situations where I've seen the homeless, I've seen the despondent, I've seen those who are just tired of living and even trying to exist and make something different in their life. I've seen that, close hand. You see homeless people, you ride by them all the time, but you ever been in jail with them? Where they'll come up and they'll eat out of the trash can, they'll stand by the trash can where you dump your food at, and they'll ask you for that food on your tray. If you've ever been in that situation, you know homeless up close. They eat out of it till they get full, until the judge say, okay, it's time for them to go. Because sometimes they just place them there. So this is the reality of the condition of the people. But with the understanding that the government, that the same man is eating out of a trash can, has the ability and does due diligence, because he neglects to claim the rights to his name. You see? You got to go look at it, because it takes you places when you're talking about the rights of the name. Hey, Roz, how you doing? Peace to you, sister. So when we think about conditions, I've seen those who are despondent. I've seen those who are down. I've seen those who are in situations to where they think that it's just no other way out.
Hello.
all behind a government or a system that has the ability to discharge those things that they actually need. And the people never know how to proceed, that these agencies are really for them, and that these agencies must help them.
Where was she calling
but they
from?
don't know how. Nor does the government tell the people that this is what we have for you. So it is error upon error, but who is wrong for that? Because you had to ask yourself a question. Like anyhow used to tell me, a brother that I was incarcerated with from New York. He used to question that, and he was a Moore brother too. It's funny that I would be tight with them too. But what he said was, look at this. As we was in line to get our trays, he said, look at this right here. He said, but I ain't mad at them. Because if I was mad at them for what they doing, then I had to ask myself this question. If I intended on building a nation, would I let them rise above their station? Or would I treat them just like this? And he was talking about being in the confinements and the restraint of the belly of that beast that they have created to monetize forms. Because that system is a point of monetization. And there is only two ways that you're ever going to monetize something. That is through the court. It has to first go through the court, and then it is going to be by the person that you went to or the agency that you went to ability not to perform the act which they were supposed to perform. So now you can take it by acquisition because it is a right of yours, but you have to learn this. So the first thing that I'm going to challenge you to do is to go on Google while you got the phone in your hand and look at the rights of the name. And what does that mean? Get you a Black's Law dictionary and go through it. Because it's going to tell you about the ability or the letdown or the absent mindedness of the person who did not claim the right to that name and its absolute use. But the only way that they can use it is through trademark, trade secrets, an agreement that you agree to by proxy, by just the mere acceptance of these type of institutions, because they are theoretical. And what I mean to you by them being theoretical is that even every agency that you go to, its application was placed because you would claim that you were disabled by the filing and falling under their jurisdiction, by the filing of your birthrights and falling under their jurisdiction because you reached the age of majority, the age of understanding, and you failed to claim the full rights of your name and then act in an equitable fashion according to that which you own. So, as I'm analyzing it every day, I'm waiting on my opportunity. I'm waiting on my opportunity, not just sitting here, twiddling my thumbs, but expressing myself and running it over in my mind so much that it's become, I can do it in my sleep.
I'm okay.
And I can talk it to you any day. I don't have any books. I don't have nothing in front of you. I'm just constantly thinking and contemplating about the rules and how the rules are set and the standards that is laid out. And we have been negligent, each and every one of us. I don't care what you claim, what nationality you claim. If you refuse to establish those financial institutions for your people and execute their contracts in a just manner, it don't matter if you're a credit repair person. It don't matter if you making license plates or IDs. If you don't set the freedom apart by understanding procurement rules, and then being able to be just with your people, because these people that sign on to you deserve to be able to live without harm or without fear. Because we in times like it is now, it's getting cold and we know people are homeless. Can we change that ourselves? No, we can't change that ourselves. But if we are in some type of government that has the proper structure, we can give that person, whether they want to stay at home and take care of kids, or if they want to grow plants, or if they don't have the ambition anymore because they have lost courage to exist in this world, we must discharge their duty for them. We have to put them in a state where they are functionable commercially. Even by them being homeless, even by them being in a disposition where life has destroyed them, put them in a position where they can execute their financial understanding and their application of what they see for themselves as freedom and liberty in life. So when you're talking about all of these things and the nationality and the domicile, if the nation refuses to use those forms from a noble standard, and I mean from the position of understanding,
the whole big picture. of
the
any
sovereign
decisions
rights
that she may make
of the
that
government,
could affect her in Olivia.
then you will always fail the people. I don't care who you are. I'm just giving you the information and the system that you will not overthrow.
He has seen
I
her.
can tell you, you will not overthrow, period. Because they are of a settled agreement.
Right. Well,
and it is a seal binding.
And it was at my residence.
So this contract is tight because you agree.
He's not kept her or
the dispute
any kind of contact that
creates the discharge.
Or, you know.
So I'm going to stop right there, and I want you to. Here's information for you, free information. Google it. The rights of the name. The rights of the name. Just Google it. The rights of the name. I want to send you on this journey that I spent over 14 years on, so that you can start to look at it in simplified fashion, so you can start to understand how to operate in commerce. So I'm gonna leave y'all with that, man. Peace out. Assalamu alaikum.